Good morning, everybody. This is TeknoBlast on Techno's Gaming, and today I'm going to continue on with the Retroarch topic here, but this time I'm going to help you figure out how to set up widescreen on some of these retro games. Now, understand that when these retro games were developed, they didn't have widescreen in mind. It was more that boxy, the old style square visuals that you see back then. But today with our high definition TVs with the widescreen, you're going to have these empty black squares or rectangles on the sides, because when you play these old games, they only use up that middle portion of your widescreen TV. Now you can set up these games with widescreen, but understand, like I said, they weren't developed intended for widescreen, more the squares. So you kind of get that little stretched out look of it. And sometimes it looks better, and sometimes it just doesn't. So it all depends on the game you're playing. If you try widescreen and if it looks good, great for you. But if it doesn't, then I recommend just going back to what the original scale is supposed to be. So today I'm going to test out 3 games, and here we're just going to go ahead and start up Retroarch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and load up a game. So I'm just going to go load content, and here I'm just going to go to my USB drive, which is a D drive. And here on GameCube, I just got one game, so I'm gonna go ahead and start Mario Kart Double Dash. And then we're gonna use the core called Nintendo GameCube Wii. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just start a simple game, nothing fancy. So as you can see right now, with just the intro part of the game, that you have that square look and the black bars on the side, because like I said, and I'll say it again, these games were not intended for widescreen. And this is why you get the square look with the black bars. Like I said, I'm just start up a game to show you the entire track, what it looks like when it was first developed. And here you go. As I said, it's the square look again with the black bars. And we'll go ahead and start the race to get some movement here. And then I'll turn on the widescreen option. So as you can see, as I'm playing here, it's just it's just your regular look, the look of Mario Kart that from back then, from the GameCube days. And it runs really good, it looks really good. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the widescreen. So I'll bring up my quick menu, and then I'll go to settings. I'm gonna go down to video, and I'm gonna go down to scaling. And here, aspect ratio, this is the one you want to select. And right now it's set as core provided. And I'm going to go up to 16 by 9, which is what your widescreens are. And you'll see in the background, if you can tell, and I'll get the game live in a second, but as you can tell, it kind of stretches it out a little bit, just a bit, not too bad. I'll go ahead and put it back the way it was in the original state. Now we can see the difference. But it does fill up the entire screen. And here you are. This is what Mario Kart looks like in widescreen. So some things look a little bit bigger. The icons look a little bigger, and the numbers look a little bigger. And maybe Mario looks a little, your Mario character looks a little larger as well. That's because they're zooming in and kind of stretching out the look of the game. And you're going to get that little larger than usual look, and a little stretched out. So. But other than that, I think this looks good. I would play in widescreen here if I was playing this game constantly. Why not? And it takes up all the screen, and don't have those ugly black bars on the side. And this looks good. So it doesn't look too bad at all. So let's go ahead and try a different game that does not require a widescreen view. It's just, it's like one static setting, not here where the background kind of moves around a little bit because you're looking at different directions. This will be the game Rampage. You're just kind of in one little setting, not really moving around with the background, but it does have, you can still use widescreen in it, but we'll show you the difference. So let's get to that. All right, so here we are with Rampage on the Nintendo 64. So this is Rampage on Nintendo 64. As you can see, it's your traditional, again, your boxy look of the game with the black bars on the sides. And again, it plays good. It performed great. I don't feel any hang up or anything like that. But let's just say, hey, you know, I want widescreen for Rampage just because, you know what? Because I want it. That's what I play. So let's go ahead and go back into the quick menu, and we'll go select settings again and go to video. Select scaling, and again, this one's selected as the core provided. And then we're going to look for 16:9. And as you can tell, it stretches out a little bit in the background. It fills up the black bars, but it's not stretched out where it's just like insanely goofy looking. So let's go ahead and put it back to the core provided. And he's a little bit skinnier right there. A little anorexic looking, but let's put it back to widescreen. Now it looks a little better. Let's go ahead and continue on. And here you go. It doesn't look bad at all. I think it looks really good. I mean, after a few seconds, I think you get used to the look of widescreen for Rampage. And you can't, and if you didn't, like if you were to show this to somebody that wasn't aware that this is what you had to do to get it to widescreen, I don't think they would tell the difference. So I think widescreen for Rampage looks really great on Nintendo 64. Remember, not all games are gonna you know, react the same, so it just depends on the game itself. So let's go ahead and try a third game, and I think this will be Mario Kart for Super Nintendo. So let's go ahead and get that started. All right, so we're in Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo, and now, as you can see, again with the black bars and the square look, and everything looks great. So here will be a great, perfect example to show you what widescreen looks like when you're on the splash page and what it does. And here you go. It fills up the screen really nice, looks good. Again, you can tell because you did it yourself that the artwork looks a little stretched out. So, and that's okay. I mean, here, I guess if you weren't aware that you put it at widescreen, you couldn't tell the difference here on this screen. But it looks fairly cool. So we'll just go ahead and put it back on the original before I start with the actual race. So here's what it looks like originally. So we'll just go ahead and start a game. You know, the old school Mario Kart looks very pixelated. That's just the way it is. That's just the game. And you can see that, you know, it's your traditional look as always. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the widescreen and see what that looks like. As you can, if you can see the background right now, Mario just looks like fat wide. And I don't think anybody wants that. So this is a perfect example of a game that you really don't want widescreen. You want it to look like the original way. And also, I mean, if you thought it was pixelated before making it widescreen, I mean, it's really pixelated now and it just looks terrible. You know, the track looks terrible. The rainbow colors look terrible. I mean, it just looks awful, period, when you try to make this into a widescreen game. So putting it back, like I said, it's a perfect example that widescreen is just not going to work on this game. And we're going to go ahead and put it back to original state. Now it's back to original state, and I think it looks better this way than it was in widescreen. All right, guys, so hopefully this helped you out on your Retroarch video settings and trying to make games widescreen. That way you can take up your lovely big TV or your monitor. But again, I'll say it again, not all games are going to act the same or, you know, react the same to widescreen. So some may look awful like it does with Mario Kart here, and some may look fantastic like it did with the other Mario Kart that I presented and Rampage. I would suggest just play around with it, and if it looks good for you, fantastic. If it doesn't, then just put it back to original. It's not going to hurt you any, and leave it at that. All right, guys. Well, if you liked the video, go ahead and, you know, make a comment on what helped you, and if you like what you saw, hit the like and the subscribe buttons. And also, if you appreciate what I've got here, also push, you know, press on that super thank button, and anything that comes my way is greatly appreciated, and I thank you. All right, guys, you guys have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys later.